I'm Aditi, and I'm a feminist. So I'd like to start out this talk with 3 facts about me. 1, I didn't have many friends growing up. 2, I'm an only child. And 3, both of my parents work. Now, the first fact is a little bit contestable, and the reasons for my general loneliness as a child could stem from my overly aggressive personality, or the fact that I couldn't really partake in playground activities as a child because to this day I can't really do the monkey bars. But that's not the point of this talk. So, while my childhood was certainly enjoyable at times, it was definitely dull. I spent a lot of time alone at home. I read a lot. I used the internet a lot, usually to watch and kind of play Disney Channel games. And I watched TV a lot. I can't even begin to describe my love for TV as a child. TV was an escape into the unknown, but I didn't need to be brave to imagine. The moving pictures in front of me were an escape from the doldrums of my life. I watched anything and everything, and at every second I could. My love for TV most likely contributed to my childhood obesity, or maybe it was because I lived across the street from McDonald's for the first 8 years of my life. So, and this may be sad, but TV shows really mark milestones in my life. I distinctly remember my transitions from watching Rugrats to Lizzie McGuire to Monk to The West Wing to Scandal, House of Cards, the list goes on. And I'm a self-described TV junkie. So now that we've established that I'm the one using up all the NYU Wi-Fi bandwidth, watching hours and hours of Netflix, time to get to the point. So the third fact that I mentioned before was that both my parents work. Both my parents have always worked and will probably work until they're physically unable to do so anymore. Thanks, NYU. So this third fact was actually a not so subtle attempt at saying that I grew up with a working mom. Now, quick disclaimer, the following will not be a feminazi rant, though I'm happy to subject any and all of you to one at a later time. So my mom works. And up until I went to boarding school at age 15, I was really resentful of her for doing so. I couldn't understand why she showed up to my school field days in a suit and heels, or why she couldn't come to my swim meets because she was in a business trip in London or Mumbai. I was never resentful of my dad for doing so. I was never resentful of him for never showing up to school or traveling every week. But after I went to boarding school, I actually realized how much both my parents sacrificed in their careers because of me. I became acutely aware of the restrictions my mom faced within corporate America simply because she's a woman. I finally grew into my feminism. I identified my mom as my role model in all of my college essays, and I became known as a champion of equal rights on and off campus. So now that I've established that I'm quite passionate about both TV and feminism, I'd like to introduce my identity crisis that I had a couple of months ago. Pictured here is a conversation I had with my best friend, a fellow feminist. I say, "Have you seen Scandal lately?" She says, "How do you still watch that show? It's so anti-feminist." I say, "How?" And she says, "It's literally a black woman giving into a white man." And here is a quick clip of Scandal.
Wow, it's a party. Let's get started. Hi there. You work for the Rose campaign, right? I'm a volunteer. I need you to take down that sign. There's a ladder in the hall. Make use of it. You get your phone back when you're done. I'll take these. From now on, any and all campaign materials need to be approved.
By who?
By us. And then these two just need to completely eliminate. We're going to take a little break. You're Susan Ross.
Yes.
And you want to be the next United States Senator from Virginia?
Yes. Look, you just interrupted my campaign rally.
Susan, this isn't a campaign rally for the next United States Senator from Virginia. This isn't even a campaign rally for a middle school student council treasurer. What this is that, which is a shame because I think you have promised. Do you know why that matters, Susan? That I think that you have promised because I'm Olivia Pope. And I'd like to run your campaign free of charge. Not only can I make you the next United States Senator from Virginia, I will make you the next United States Senator from Virginia. All you have to do is say yes. Say yes, Susan. Yes. Thank you, Susan.
Okay, I want this sign down now. Bring me the latest polling and finance stats. This is the big time, people. Let's go.
Okay. So prior to this, I definitely analyzed TV shows from an academic standpoint. I can identify biases within numerous genres, and I definitely support minority leads and representation. But boycotting a show based on the fact that someone interpreted it as anti-feminist or racist, I couldn't fathom even doing so. But after this conversation, I immediately felt guilty. Was I not doing my part as a feminist? Should I not be supporting, quote, anti-feminist shows like Scandal or even worse, Entourage? How could I consider myself a champion of women's rights but still genuinely enjoy shows that objectify women? Now, Scandal itself is an interesting case study. The producer of the show is the great Shonda Rhimes. The Dartmouth grad is a champion of minority women on television. She's the brains behind Grey's Anatomy and How to Get Away with Murder, both shows which feature black female leads. But various feminist websites and magazines have actually denigrated Scandal. Eliana Dochterman writes in Time magazine, it's an emerging TV trope, a woman who excels at her job but for some inexplicable reason makes terrible choices when the man of her affection enters the picture, and chaos ensues. So I don't know how many of you watch Scandal, but the general premise of the show involves Kerry Washington, who plays the political mastermind Olivia Pope. Pope fixes problems in DC, and these problems range from sex scandals to kidnappings of diplomats. While the backbone of the show is Pope's career, her romantic life serves as a melody, connects each episode to the next and adds to the drama. The protagonist of the show struggles choosing between two men, the President of the United States, who she's had a passionate affair with for years, and an ex-spy who eventually works for her father. Both of these men are typical attractive white men. Dochterman goes on to write, she can usually solve her client's calamities in a single episode, but I expect it will take at least a whole season for Olivia to resolve the situation, because when it comes to her beloved Fitz, the president, Olivia doesn't make the smartest decisions. As a feminist, I bristle under the notion that a woman's judgment can be so easily derailed by men. So, Rhimes has really clearly created a role model in Pope, but Pope is even dependent on a man. And the show itself and extreme feminist doctrine actually frame this dependency as a fault. Scandal seems to suggest that falling in love with a man ruins you, that being dependent is a bad thing, and feminist rhetoric actually feeds off of this. There's this idea of a strong, independent woman and who has the motivation within her to succeed, a woman who doesn't need support. This is a huge lie, a massive deception. Everyone needs support, man or woman, and falling in love doesn't hinder and shouldn't hinder career success. This may sound naive or idealistic, but love isn't inherently evil. This is only one interpretation of these types of shows. While I may disagree with the underlying themes of shows like Scandal, the show promotes women in the media. And strong female protagonists serve as role models for the next generation. I grew up watching Christina Yang slice open hearts and Rory Gilmore serve as the editor of her school newspaper. In high school, I saw C.J. Craig manage an entire press room effortlessly and Khaleesi release her dragons. And now I see Claire Underwood fiercely manipulate her enemies, peers, and loved ones. I'll let you know when I master that one. So today I introduce myself as a feminist. While I'm certainly proud of this descriptor as my passions, personality, and inner soul, it's not my only descriptor. A couple of months ago, my mom said, "Don't make your only thing feminism. It won't get you anywhere." This angered me. This shocked me. I remember becoming quite emotional. How could my mom, someone who's fought gender norms both within the workplace and within her own family, not want her only child to identify as a feminist? This quickly turned into a fight. She claimed that I was simply more outspoken and gung-ho about my feminism, that even though she rebelled while growing up in India with traditional parents by riding on the backs of motorcycles with boys or wearing jeans or cutting her hair, that she didn't say that she was a feminist, even though she embodied all of those principles. I remember joking with her, "Come on, Mom. I don't say, hi, my name is Aditi and I'm a feminist." But why not? I'm clearly fine with associating myself with feminism, even though some girls aren't, and that's particularly disappointing. But I just feel like I'm not comfortable labeling myself with one descriptor. Feminism can manifest itself in a variety of ways, and every descriptor can. The dictionary definition of feminism is the theory of political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. But this expression varies from person to person. My expression, for example, is through Venmo transactions. While some people offer to pay for things, I split everything, even if it's a guy and I'm logically only making 84 cents to his dollar. That was a joke, kind of. Stereotypes increasingly define descriptors. In high school, I gave a talk claiming that I was a feminist, even though I, quote, wear bras and shave. I gave into the stereotype. And this idea of stereotypes and labels definitely extends past feminism. As NYU students, we're, quote, rich kids who struggle with our privilege, since it's not PC, right? But it's finding those specific facets within those descriptors that make you mature. And I realize I'm only turning 20 and not 40 next week. So what do you label yourself as? What do you think other people see you as? Are you Puerto Rican? Are you a frat boy? Are you gay? Every day we struggle to brand ourselves. Whether this branding is subconscious or conscious is up for argument, but we do brand ourselves. We make ourselves look appropriate on social media. We talk to the right people. I myself am so focused on my brand as a business student pursuing corporate law and politics that I'm uncomfortable identifying with just one descriptor. While feminism is central to my soul, as is religion and ideology is to others, one descriptor isn't enough. And I think that's what my mom was getting at, and I think that's what these TV shows are getting at. There's so many different facets of life and love that one descriptor just doesn't cut it. Shonda Rhimes shows certainly have certain tenets of feminism, but the true art of these shows are balancing these tenets with the struggles of real life. Identifying with one descriptor is dangerous. It limits your expression to only one aspect of yourself, and melting and molding these individual descriptors makes you who you really are. It's maybe quite lame, but isn't that the true beauty of human interaction? It's finding those little things within the layers, those nooks and crannies within your friend, peer, or partner in crime's multifaceted personality. So, hi, I'm Aditi, and I'm a feminist, but I'm also an only child, a TV fan, a lover of all things peanut butter, a self-described Trekkie, and a reader of The Economist. Thank you.